Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of Teen Book Babble, the YouTube series where our teen services team talks about some of their most recent reads. First up is Kelsey.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Book Babble. My name's Kelsey and today we're going to be talking about Revolt by Lindsay Miller. Revolt is a high fantasy standalone set in the kingdom of Damain, which is a kind of like high fantasy France-inspired setting. Damain has two main types of magic, the midnight arts and the noonday arts. The midnight arts are associated with Mistress Moon and thought to be more feminine. They include scrying, divination, and illusions. It's said that the midnight arts observe the world, whereas the noonday arts, which is the second type, change the world. The noonday arts are associated with Lord Sun. They are considered more masculine, and they allow you to manipulate matter, things like metal and stuff in warrior context, and also use something called physicianry, which is a sort of like magical healing and surgery. Again, they consider this one more masculine and the midnight arts more feminine, but they definitely go ahead and challenge those ideas throughout the book, so don't worry and don't get too stuck up on it. Things aren't always as they seem. One of the main features of magic in Revolt is that channeling magic, whether for midnight arts or noonday arts, takes a toll on the body and will eventually wear you down over time. So one of the ways that the nobles have solved this problem, for themselves at least, is that they will hire commoners who are magically gifted, called hacks, and channel magic through them, so that the poor commoner gets all of the side effects while the noble gets all of the glory. Our story centers around two very different girls. The first is Émilie de Marais. She is a comtesse, a noblewoman, but she wants nothing more than to study physicianry and the noonday arts. However, this is considered too vulgar, too masculine, not a ladylike activity, and her mother is very much against it. So she's sending her to a finishing school to learn to be a proper lady and learn the midnight arts, like she should. Well, we also have Annette Boucher, who is a commoner. She wishes she could learn the midnight arts. She's very gifted, and she very much admires the royal diviner, who was a commoner who was so skilled that they couldn't ignore her anymore or relegate her anymore. That's Annette's dream. Well, on Emilie's way to finishing school, she spies Annette outside of the carriage, staring at a poster talking about the royal diviner, and she has an idea. So she puts her chaperone to sleep for just a few minutes, jumps out of the carriage, approaches Annette and says, you look just enough like me that people who haven't met me up close might mistake the two. So here, I have a proposition for you. I'm going to take your last name and I'm going to run away to try and study the physicianry and the noonday arts, and you get to go and study the midnight arts as me, the Comtesse Émilie de Marais. And that's like, oh my gosh, this is everything I've ever wanted. Also, you're insane that you're leaving all of this, but no, let's do it. I'll do it. So each of them carry out their plan to try and learn their own arts and follow their passions, while at the same time there's all of this civil unrest and a revolutionary called Laurel who's trying to bring to light some of the atrocious practices that the nobility have been participating in. It is a really, really fun read. Some of my favorite things about it are the banter, the character voices, and the relationships. It also has some wonderful LGBT representation, so happy June, happy Pride, I see you. We have L, A, B, and T. No G's yet, but don't worry, G's. We're going to have some stuff for you coming right up. And you can check out Revolt either here in the library or on Hoopla. You can check it out on ebook. Hope to see you soon.
Hi everybody, my name is Amber Rubio. I am the Teen Services Specialist over at Fountaindale Public Library, and today I am doing a book babble for you guys, and we are reviewing Toil and Trouble, 15 Tales of Women in Witchcraft, edited by Jessica Spotswood and Tess Sharp. I love this book a lot. It's a fiction anthology. It has a couple different genres that sort of, go along with like witches and witchcraft, fantasy, paranormal, things like that. A little bit of romance. All of these stories were excellent. I loved all of them so much. There wasn't even one that I was honestly even bored with. They were so inclusive too, on across all fronts. They had, Black, Indigenous, people of color in the stories. They had LGBTQIA plus characters, and it was great. It's always really nice to see that. Not to mention like the amount of like research and folklore that all of the authors pulled from was vast. It like came from all over the world, and I love that like a lot. It's always really cool to see like, like roots of witchcraft and things like that in stories. And, you can tell when an author like really knows what they're talking about, honestly, when they really do their research. One of my favorite stories within the book was the first one. This one was Star Song by Delorque Mejia. And that one was one of my favorites. Like, it was about a girl who did star charts, and she was, she said she was a witch, and so she would do full out written star charts, sorry, for people who, would then like pay for them. And then she would just, give out people like these massive like horoscopes that were super well detailed. And she was super into, space and the planets and like the alignment of the stars and everything. And it was great. And she ends up in this Instagram exchange with this like cute girl, who's super into NASA and science. And so at first they started arguing, but then it kind of turned into like this meet cute, and it was really adorable. One of my second favorite one was probably The Heart in Her Hands by Tess Sharp. And that one was about two witches involved in like these interesting like clan politics in their own like witches coven. And like their coven had a ton of rules, and it was just about the two of them pretty much doing whatever it takes to survive and keep their love strong and safe. And yeah, so that was 15 Tales, Women in Witchcraft, Toil and Trouble. You can get it obviously in YA fiction, it is under Toil, YA fiction F. And it's also available as an ebook on Libby and Overdrive.
Hi, Miss Randy here, and today I'm going to be talking about an LGBTQ graphic novel called You Brought Me the Ocean. The author is Alex Sanchez, and the illustrator is Julie Morrow. So this graphic novel is sci-fi fantasy. It's actually a DC Comics adapted origin story for DC's Aqualad. It was released in 2020, and it feels like it could possibly be the first in a series. Cross our fingers. So let me tell you a little bit about the book. So in this graphic novel, the main character is Jake Hyde. So Jake has dreams. Dreams to leave his small desert town of Truth or Consequences, New Mexico, to live closer to the ocean, even though he has never learned to swim, and to attend a coastal school to study oceanography. Both his mom and his best friend Maria want him to stay in New Mexico, but Jake longs for something different. His mom in particular just wants Jake to play it safe. But as Jake thinks more about his future and his identity, he doesn't want to play it safe. He secretly applies to the University of Miami without telling Maria, and he begins to explore his feelings for fellow classmate Kenny Lou. He also discovers the truth behind the strange markings on his skin, marks that he has kept secret from his friends, marks that when touched by water reveal a power that he never knew existed. So let me tell you why I like this graphic novel. So for June, happy Pride Month, everybody, I read several different LGBTQ graphic novels, and this one really stood out for me in a couple of different ways. First of all, I didn't realize that this was a DC Comics publication. So when Superman and Aquaman were mentioned in the story, it was kind of a pleasant surprise because I'm really into those kinds of stories. So it was really lovely to read a graphic novel with such a diverse cast of characters. I enjoyed following Jake on his journey as he explored what it is he wants to do in the future, as well as his own identity. Obviously, this is a superhero origin story, but it is also more than that, in that he sort of goes through this journey of self-discovery and is able to come out to his friends and family and explore a relationship with Kenny. I also really loved the beautiful illustrations and the soft muted colors. I thought the illustrator did a wonderful job of, encapsulating the characters and really capturing their emotions in the images on the page. So if you are interested in checking out You Brought Me the Ocean, where can you find it? The book is available in print at Fountaindale. It is also available as an ebook on Hoopla. That's where I read it, so you can check it out. I also have a few recommendations from our teen volunteers. These books also feature LGBTQ+ characters. Our teens are recommending The Love Curse of Melody McIntyre by Robin Talley, Last Night at the Telegraph Club by Melinda Lowe, and finally, several of our volunteers have recommended They Both Die at the End by Adam Silvera. Want more recommendations? Visit our website at fountaindale.org/teenreads to view book lists curated just for you. This month we have several lists featuring LGBTQ+ authors and characters, including our Over the Rainbow Pride Month edition. We also have a list of graphic novels featuring LGBTQ+ characters, as well as a sci-fi fantasy list. Visit our website to check all that out. We'll see you next time.